Welcome back. It is another episode of Sketching Up. This is episode 48. 48. You know, it seems like a lot, but this show has been going on since 2020. It's not 2022. So that just shows there's a lot of gaps we've had in in our way here. But I'm your host, Chris Schnabel. I'm with Kyle Scott as always. Kyle, how's it going? How we doing? How's Hot Atlanta?
Man, it's all right. It's hot. You know what I'm saying? It's hot down here in Atlanta, but it's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just the two of us. We gonna make it when we try.
Yeah, we've tried a lot of different things on this show, but I think this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Have the God, have your boy, talk about some stuff. So first of all, I want to get this out of the way now because we want to connect the Schnabel Studios Productions tree together. Mad Props episode 39 just dropped. The Julius Thomas III, maybe future guest of Sketching Up. He is Alexander Hamilton in Hamilton. He talks about that. He talks about comic books and how he got a Switch and he's been playing Zelda and a lot of fun stuff. So go check that out. You can check that out on the Schnabel Studios pages, which are located somewhere around here. You can actually see the actual pages. They're going to pop up while they go. Other than that, that's all that's going on for that, except for this new episode of Sketching Up. So let's just get right into it. Let's get right into the intro video and then get into the video. This is Sketching Up. So this is Sketching Up, episode 48. We're going to change it up a little bit. I feel like we change it up every single time we do this, Kyle. Just a little bit, but I think this is going to be a change for the better. So we're going to segment it a little more because Kyle and I can definitely get off track. It's happened in the past. It'll still happen. So if you're a fan of the going off track, it's still going to happen. We need to condense it a little bit, though. Condense it just a little bit. I feel like we say that every episode, too. We just need to condense it a little bit. We're just all over the place all the time. But we're going to segment it a little bit. So we're going to introduce our first segment. Kyle, will you please introduce our first segment?
You know what I'm saying? Our first segment is called the Sketch Up Catch Up. You know what I'm saying? Something smooth where we catch up from our favorite Sketching Up host. You know what I'm saying? We get to catch up with our host. I guess since I'm already talking, I'm going to start talking now. So yeah, man, catching up. I done seen we got to save that. I know that new Moon Knight done dropped. You feel me?
Yep. Moon Knight dropped.
Okay. We just school just ended, so I'm finna take out probably tomorrow, and I'm gonna watch all of Moon Knight. You know what I'm saying? You see me rocking. You feel me? I always gotta let this be known. You feel me? He's just nothing but a Marvel Batman. So if he can get with my guy, you know what I'm saying? I might have to rock with my man's. And if he lit, I might have to call for a movie, and I might be a Marvel guy.
Well, I will say he definitely will be back. I won't say too much. I don't want to spoil it for you. People that are watching may have not seen it. I will say right now, we'll say it again, but spoilers throughout the episode because things we're talking about right now have already come out. They've been out for a while. Mostly, like Moon Knight's final episode's been out for a while. So if we spoil it and you're upset, you had time. Come on, let's go. But I will say this. Very good. Last episode was okay. Second to last episode, unreal. It was so good. Maybe the best Marvel television that's ever been put out. That one episode. I will not say the series. I kind of, now that I've sat on it for a little bit and everything, I might think low-key is a little better, but they're very good. Very good. You won't be disappointed. You will not be disappointed.
I'll ask that question, I guess, after I watch it. I was going to say why, but I'll ask that question.
Yeah, well, after you watch it, we can come back to it and we can talk about why we think one's better than the other. But you know what we did both see? The guy on your shirt.
Batman.
The Batman. Now, we won't spend too much time on the Batman because the Batman has been out for a while. It's actually been out for so long that you can now get it on HBO. It actually came out on HBO a month later, which is not heard of. In today's streaming culture, that's what it is. I will say to start, we both kind of had the same opinion. could have cut about 45 minutes of that movie. That was like the consensus opinion, was you can cut about 45 minutes in the movie and like it would have been just as good. So I want you to go into it a little bit because you're the big Batman guy. So have your time to shine. Go ahead.
See, I like it. It was 45 minutes too long, definitely. Also, I didn't like the brightness. Like it was way too dark. Like I went in there and like I can see how people felt because I was talking to some people at my job or whatnot, and they're like, "Man, I fell asleep on it." And I was like, and I could see why because it's so dark. And then like 45 minutes of it is just like pointless dialogue. Like normally, I love dialogue in Batman because it actually leads to something. But on some of this stuff, it wasn't. It didn't really lead to much. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did like how the Riddler did have a connection to Batman, like being one of the orphanages that Batman's dad kind of neglected a little bit. And I thought that was a pretty real, like a cool little thing, like a cool little Easter egg, just like man, what was the other one? Also, I can't lie. The new Batman, I kind of rock with him a little bit.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, like it's just like they got to do something with that bat voice, though, man. Like, come on, man. Like, just get somebody with
It's been so successful for so long. It's why you're gonna change it now.
It's just as a Batman, dude, it just feels weird. There's somebody who just talks like this. I am Batman, and I'm like, bro, I know for a fact your throat hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, sound like somebody's 80-year-old grandma who been smoking since she was 10, bro.
Well,
Like,
that's the secret. Maybe it is. You don't know. We know, but they don't know. It could be someone's 80-year-old grandma that's been smoking forever. So I have a lot of the same opinions there. I will say probably my biggest gripe was the timing. And I now maybe it's just because I've seen the Riddler in so many things in so many ways. I didn't mind how the Riddler was, but I did think that they made him more dark than I know he's supposed to be very smart, but it almost just seemed like he was crazy and not just smart. You know, he seemed like he was supposed to be this crazy dude, which the Riddler is crazy, but he's also very smart, very strategic. Everything's supposed to be a riddle. Like, you know, maybe it's just because of the animated series and the 89 series and stuff like that you see the Riddler, like Jim Carrey's Riddler and stuff like that, where it's just a different Riddler. But I just thought they just went really, really dark. I guess it goes with the movie and everything. But I loved the movie. I thought it was really good. I thought it was paced pretty well. There was a couple places where I'm like, it's a little, it can move a little faster, and nobody would nobody would be upset. But overall, I love the movie. I thought it was really good. And I love to see Detective Batman, something I don't think we've ever seen on screen.
no, like you have to be a real Batman fan to know like he's the world's greatest detective slick. Like not like a real Batman fan, but like if you just watch the movies, you would think that he's just a dude who runs around beating everybody up in leotard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
there was another great MC or not an MC, another great superhero film that came out. That was Doctor Strange. Were you able to get around to seeing that one?
no, because I couldn't get to the movies yesterday.
No, that's all good. So Doctor Strange, I will give my slight opinion. I don't want my opinion to hurt or boost yours. I want you to have your own opinion on the movie, but I'll give a quick one on it. So my biggest gripe with the movie had nothing to do with the movie itself. My biggest gripe with the movie had to do with the promotion and the fans around it hyping it up unbelievably, giving it such high expectations that when you actually watched it and some of the expectations or most of the expectations don't come true, you're like, what happened in this movie? It doesn't seem as good as it is. The movie was really good. It really was. It had a lot of really good pieces to it, but there was so much hype about what's going to happen, who's going to be in this movie, who's going to make their cameos, who's going to do this. And for most all of them to really not happen, hopefully this gives you a better viewing experience of Doctor Strange, me saying this, because I mean, for me, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I mean, we do a podcast. I read a lot of stuff on this, and there was just so much hype around it. But then on the other side, Marvel didn't do any favors, like diffusing that either. And I don't know if it's because it was really good promotion. I mean, it became one of the top 3 highest grossing movies, maybe even top 2 highest grossing movies of all time. But I think there's so much hype around it. When you actually watch the movie, a lot of that stuff didn't happen. You were just like, wait, is this a good movie, or am I just disappointed because I was expecting more of this movie? And that's my biggest opinion on it. For overall, did I like the movie? Yes, I really liked the movie. I liked it a lot. I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. He was almost seemed like a side character in his own movie, but not in a bad way. And I had a lot of gripes with how Wanda was in the movie too, but that could be saved for a different day, because I really want to get to my favorite thing. I don't know if you've seen this one or not. Okay. But my favorite thing in this wrap up, we have like just under 2 minutes left in the wrap up, and I really wanted to get to this. Okay, Sonic 2. Did you see Sonic 2?
Yeah, but I was a bit inebriated.
Okay, but my opinion on Sonic 2 was amazing. It was so good. It was, and Sonic 1 was really good. Remember, they had the whole thing. Sonic 2 was so good. I love the characters. I love the story. I loved everything about it. And it just shows that you can make, first of all, a cartoon version or a cartoon movie of a video game, and you can do it correctly.
Yep.
That's what it really shows. So do you have any opinions on Sonic 2 as we kind of wrap it up here?
I just want to say something about the Sonic franchise as a whole. Okay.
Yep.
I personally want to give them so many kudos, because most of the time when like you see fans give backlash to something, they all like the studio always does something weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and by them fixing the way Sonic looks and fixing all the other problems that they had from the first movie, I only remember some of the second movie, but I was more too busy celebrating other stuff. But yeah, I like how they listened to the fans and it actually came out good, which I think a lot of other people could, like DC could learn from that.
A lot of studios can learn from that. Like, there's a reason fans go in an uproar, and if you change it, it can help. Last thing we'll talk about before we wrap up the catch up, I should say. Wrap up the sketch up, the catch up. We both need to get Mario Soccer, which comes out in about a week. I don't know from when this podcast is out, because I actually don't know the exact date. So I'm going to say about a week either way.
It's the 30th of May.
It's the 30th of May today on recording. On release, it'll be the beginning of June. But I just don't know which day. I don't know when Mario Soccer comes out. That's what I'm saying. I know what today is for recording. I also know when this is going to come out. I just don't know when Mario Soccer comes out. I know it's in the beginning of June, though. So it's coming out very soon. And we need to get it. I'll have to score some goals on you. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
By some, I mean a lot. I'm going to score a lot of goals on you. I'm sorry. But June 8th. Okay. So make sure if you guys want to get it and add us, you can comment your Switch IDs or send us your Switch IDs, and you can get these feet, because it's not these hands, because it's soccer. So you can get these feet. And should I say these hands still, because I'll be playing with my hands, or do I have to play it with my feet?
You're going to catch these feet, bro.
You're going to catch these feet. Okay. So after all that is the sketch up, catch up. Thank you for the intro, Kyle. Thank you for your insight. But now we are on to the main event. Kyle, take it away.
Main event teams. You feel me? Main event teams is basically the main event of the whole story. You feel me? The main event of the whole podcast, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? The cast, the pod. You know what I'm saying? Pushing P, because I'm from Atlanta. You feel me? Free my guys. If you know, you know. We're here to talk about Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Chippendale.
Chippendale. You know what I'm saying?
Rescue Rangers.
I thought it was gonna get it popping. But I guess since I'm talking, I'll go. Man,
well, how about no, you can keep talking. Give us a little recap of what happened in the movie. Before we do that, here it is. Turn on the sirens. Sirens on. Spoiler alert.
Big spoils. You know what I'm saying?
Have not seen the movie. Cut it off here. Go watch the movie, then come back here. All right, Kyle, take it away. Tell us what happened in Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
I bet all the people who don't want to be spoiled should be gone by now. So first off, I just got to talk about. I was a kid when that animated series came out. Okay.
Yeah.
Second, I was the chubby fat kid that would just watch it with all sorts of snacks. And I would be hyped watching Chippendale. My mama even knew the Chippendale Rescue Rangers song. I made about a video for it. Hey, bro. This video right here, that movie right there, bro? That movie right there would have made 5-year-old Kyle go nuts. Okay? I wouldn't have understood all the cameos, but just the fact that the Rescue Rangers was getting it popping. First off, I like how they had like part CGI and part cartoon, kind of like the old, like remember how the old days they would have like part cartoon, part real life? Like I used to love that because like maybe just because I'm a weirdo, but I used to just love that. Like, and I love how they talked about how he had CGI surgery. Like that was hilarious, first off. And then also, let me give a synopsis.
All right, synopsis. Do it up. You got this.
All right, so basically, Chippendale, basically all these famous cartoons are getting like kidnapped and people don't know where they at, basically. And so basically it's Chippendale's job to go find them because one of their homies got snatched, you feel me? So you gotta go get your homeboy, you know what I'm saying? Can't let your boy go down like that. So it went and did that. That's basically, you know what I'm saying, a nice little cool, smooth.
That's obviously the details in between. You have to see the movie to know, but that is basically how it went. Got snatched up and they had to go find them. And that really is. And then there's the scenes in between that make it a movie.
And here's the thing I really liked about it. I liked how like Disney is getting so much better at putting adult innuendos. Like when what was his name? When he was the dude who's addicted to cheese.
Yeah.
I had to have for people who don't know, I'm a school teacher. So I was watching it since it was the last week of school. We watched movies or whatever. So then I had to have a whole drug conversation. Like a whole like one of them was like, Coach Scott, what do you think he's really addicted to? I know they say cheese, but I teach high school, by the way. So this is why we have that kind of conversation. So I had one kid say he was a heroin addict. One kid said he was on cocaine. Like it was hilarious. We had a nice little class discussion about why drugs are bad.
That's good.
All of the like innuendos and like the whole like bootlegging and putting them in a different movie to make more money off the bootlegs. And then should I spoil who the villain was?
So wait, let's get right into it then. Let's get right into it. So you're telling your favorite parts of the movie. You're talking about Sweet Pete, who's played by Will Arnett, which I love Will Arnett and Sweet Pete. So really quick, let me just give, because you're about to give some detail. Let me give a detail really quick. So what happens is Sweet Pete is like a mobster basically, and he kidnaps people that can't pay him back. And when he takes these people, he snatches up these cartoons and he transforms them to put them in the bootleg movies and sells the bootleg movies. And this all happened because he played Peter Pan. And when he got too old, because Peter Pan never grows up, they kind of dumped him off to the side. And so this is how he did that. So now go into what you're about to say. So Sweet Pete, go ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's good. I just wanted to give some context for anybody that's like, okay, I'm here, but I'm not. I'm here, but I'm not. But also the people have probably seen the movie that are listening to this. So I don't know why I had to explain in the first place.
It's all good. I know I kind of talk a different language sometimes. But yeah, like whole Sweet Pete, like homeboy is a too old, like a child actor. Like essentially to me, it just looks like the child actor who went down the wrong path because he ain't popping no more. And then for him to be bootleg at the end was, I love
you wanna know something crazy? So the story of Sweet Pete in that, right, is like kind of the true story of what happened to the voice actor for Peter Pan, which is crazy how like meta they actually did it. His name was Bobby Driscoll, I'm pretty sure. And at a point he got like too old to play Peter Pan or be in movies or something like that. So Disney kicked him off, kicked him to the curb and said, see ya. And he like got depressed and became homeless and a drug addict and eventually died. Like it, and to really meta it and make his character, or Sweet Pete's character, have kind of almost the same route as his voice actor from back in the day. It's just crazy to see Disney do that. But Disney does things like this because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
It's kind of eerie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's slightly eerie, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like here's another part I do really like. I'm gonna get on the eerie stuff later, but like the one I want to finish up my first point of the things I liked.
Yep, go ahead.
The cameos, legendary. When I seen the dad from South Park,
Randy Marsh, I don't even know how they pulled that one off.
I don't know. Yo, when I seen it, I said, wait, hey, that's all man. I went nuts. Like I was worse than the kids was calling out all the cameos.
Yeah, a lot of them were Disney, so that made sense. Obviously, there was also the cameos, like they talked about the Paw Patrol and the Rugrats, and so they talked about some Nickelodeon stuff. Plus, there were some other things, like if you looked in the background of one of the shots, there was Johnny Bravo's gym, which was cool to see, and like Dolby, right, or Dobby from Harry Potter was in the Gucci ad, and so like there was a lot of like outside of Disney stuff. But the best, we're talking all about all these cameos and we haven't talked about Ugly Sonic yet.
Yo,
like
Ugly Sonic,
number one, like biggest surprise, funniest, just amazing piece of that movie was Ugly Sonic. So we just talked about the Sonic movie, and Kyle's talking about how like he really appreciates that the creators listen to him. So what he meant by that is, which I was about to say too when you were talking about, like, we'll get more into Sonic in a little bit, but what happened was they made a Sonic design and it was awful. It was terrible. It did not look like Sonic. It was scary looking. It was humanoid. It did not look good. So they got rid of it and made the new Sonic. So in this movie, all characters are actors. So like there's no actual anybody. Like Chip and Dale they're actors that kind of play themselves in a fantasy world. So Ugly Sonic is an actor. His name is Ugly Sonic in the movie. And you see he's been in a bunch of other movies and stuff like that, but that his name is Ugly Sonic. And it was just so well how they portrayed him. It was crazy how they got around the copyright stuff by making him a little fatter and making him look a little different and only calling him Ugly Sonic. If you called him anything else, would have been copywritten, movie shut down, but they called him Ugly Sonic every single time. If you notice, they say Ugly Sonic every time, and that is to keep the copyrights away. And so it was really well done that way. But the way they've zoomed in on his human teeth and like, oh my God, it was just so good. It was amazing to see that cameo. So Ugly Sonic making the appearance was one of my favorite things. There's a lot of people's favorite things, but just not only him making the appearance, but how big of a role he ended up having. So this thing that was thrown away by the fans comes back, and now people are like asking for Ugly Sonic movies and stuff like that.
But you know what? That's really good rebranding, because now anytime somebody wants to botch a character, okay, we'll just make him a spoof in our next one.
So would you even? I would. Now, but here's the problem for who owns Sonic. I don't even know a company does Sonic.
Is it?
Well, Capcom, yeah, but who does the movies? It might be like Paramount or something like that. I don't know. We'd have to look into that. But so let's just say it's Paramount for argument's sake. Like they can't use the design Disney used because Disney will copyright that Ugly Sonic. But I mean, they can make their own Ugly Sonic movie, but they might even copyright Ugly Sonic. So like, what are you going to call them? So like, and now all these people are like, I want this, I want that. Well, unless these two are going to work together to make it, it's not going to happen. Like, because it's Disney made Ugly Sonic, but they can't make a full movie of Ugly Sonic because there would be way too much. There would be way too much. But I think it'd be amazing if they made a movie about about what?
Like I was thinking about making a movie of like all the spoofs. Like let's say of like all the things the fans hated, and you put all of it in one movie, and you just make it one big hilarious spoof movie of like whatever. Like let's say like the botched Justice League movie.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring some of those actors back and all the stuff that got made fun of. You just make it into a big satire, breaking the fourth wall kind of thing.
I think it would be awesome if, just sticking with Sonic, if they made an ugly Sonic like origin story movie of like how he was supposed to sign, or I mean play him, and then how he got cut, and then he did all these really bad poor budget movies, and like how he got to that moment. You can even put the moment where he's like going because he gets the FBI movie gig or something like that, and at the end you see he comes in with the FBI and stuff like that. Like if you just had the whole movie of his origin story, I bet you people would. It would have to be a straight to streaming service thing. It would not be a theaters thing, but like people would watch it because it would just be so funny. It'd be so good. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like if you had just like an origin story of the ugly Sonic, you can have him like, but you'd have to work with whatever owns Sonic. Like you can have him on set, and then the director comes like, "Hey, like, listen, we like you. You're a great actor, but the fans want this guy." And then it cuts over to regular Sonic or something like that, and goes from there. I think it would be a good movie. I really do. I think that would do well. But
I like that.
I don't have any say on any of that. So we kind of talked about our favorite parts. Let's kind of talk about what we would rate the movie. So how we're going to work these rankings. It's going to be 1 to 10, 10 being an absolute great movie. But our rule is going to be a little skewed because you can go to an 11. An 11 is going to be like groundbreaking, changes the genre, changes the world, like Avengers Endgame type movie where it changes everything. The Dark Knight changed everything. That's the kind of movie it has to be to do. So it has to be, not only does it have to be a good movie, but it also has to be groundbreaking and changing for the genre, for the company, whatever it is. So Kyle, I'll let you go first. 1 to 10. What's your rating? Give us a little explanation why you take that one.
I'm going to give that Chip and Dale movie a 10.5. It was like this much almost groundbreaking. Like those cameos is what is doing it for me. Like don't get me wrong, great movie. Okay, outside of nostalgia and it being a great movie. Okay, that's what gave it the 9.5 was nostalgia and great movie. That what gave me that extra point was those cameos. Like the cameos and the ugly Sonic is what really did it. Because it's like y'all done changed the game because now y'all can take a mistake and make it into a fun spoof.
So I get what you're saying there. So you're 10.5, locked in, done. 10.5. I'll go with my rating, and my rating is going to reflect a little bit what you said. Okay, so I give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay,
I would not put it into a groundbreaking movie because, and they reference it in the movie. Roger Rabbit did the same thing, and they had the cameos of the Looney Tunes, and Looney Tunes were not Disney, but they needed like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse being on the same screen for, I think, the first and only time that's ever happened is those two being on the same screen. So Roger Rabbit kind of already did this. I wouldn't call it groundbreaking just because we've also seen a dark movie like this in Disney with like Zootopia, for example, where they would shoot him with, actually, when I was watching it, I said to my girlfriend while watching it, this reminds me a lot of Zootopia. So I wouldn't say it was groundbreaking in that way because it just took a lot of really successful pieces of other movies and put them together. I would give it a 9 out of 10 though, because the movie is excellent. It is so good. Like when you go into it, you're seeing Chip and Dale, you think of the old show, or you think of other Disney properties, and you're like, oh, it's just going to be this, that. It was a lot darker than expected, like in a good way for me. Like I enjoyed that, but it was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be.
It was kind of like they knew that the original audience was grown-ups.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. They were like, it's grown, they're grown, so it's going to be, it's got to be a little darker. But like when you think of Disney movies, you don't think of like them to be on addiction. You don't expect them to be on like gangs or mafia type deals. You don't expect them to take their most successful properties, such as Peter Pan. And they said his name is Sweet Pete in the movie, but he says he was Peter Pan and make him just such a villain. Like he was a villain in the movie. Like you don't expect stuff like that when you're going into a movie like this. So to see stuff like that and to see how Disney was willing to step out of their comfort zone, that's where it almost can hit groundbreaking, because like they're starting to step out of that comfort zone, because I think they're trying to take Disney Plus in a direction where it's not just kid friendly. And this movie still, you can watch it with a kid and like you're not gonna be upset, or the kids aren't gonna be scared or anything like that. You can watch it with a kid, but like the way they've been shifting, you can tell they're going to start bringing bigger properties Disney Plus, like the Deadpools of the world and those rated R Fox movies that they acquired and those other ones and stuff like that. And this is kind of just the first step, I think, or the second step. The first step was bringing Daredevil and stuff like that onto Disney Plus, because we all know that is a graphic show. But I think this is kind of like that. We're going to be on our brand. We're going to talk about our brand, but we're also going to start doing new stuff with our brand to see how far we can go, where we can make something entertaining. So that's why I give it a 9. I don't think it's groundbreaking just because it has a lot of tropes of old shows, but it could hit that mark. Like, so what I'm trying to say is your 10.5, I think is justified. I think even when you're thinking of other things, like it's very close to being that type of movie. So
very.
So you got a 10.5. I got a 9 on the dot. So we'll go right into, was this film groundbreaking? We kind of talked about, was it groundbreaking? A little bit.
Just before groundbreaking.
Just before. They have the shovel in their hand, but they haven't hit the ground just yet.
Like groundbreaking, everything has changed from now. Like
no, absolutely not.
That's like 10.5, because it's like you there, you this close. Like you that close.
Shovel in the hand, but they haven't hit the dirt yet. So and the reason that is not because of what the movie was, it's what the movie represents to Disney Plus. So the last thing we'll talk about with Chip and Dale is, where would you rank this in the Disney tier list? So let me go over the tier list really quick before we go on to that. All right. So the Disney tier list will be like this. There's legend tier, and this legend tier, I mean, I don't even have to name the movies. The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. Like, we know what the legend tier is. The high tier, these are movies that are really high regard, but they're just not those instant classic movies. Then there's the mid tier. These are good movies a lot of people like, but they're just not like high tier movies. Like, they're not loved by everybody, but they're loved by a lot of people. Then we got low tier movies. Maybe it's one you like, but it's not really that good, or maybe it's just one that's not good. And then there's no tier. This movie wasn't good. It's going to be forgotten. No one's going to remember it. So those are the tier levels. Kyle, where do you put it on the tier list of Disney?
I think personally it's at the bottom of the high tier.
Okay.
Like it's the bottom of the high tier, I think. Just because of I'm gonna be stuck on Ugly Sonic, man. That Ugly Sonic was just beautiful, man. The whole Sweet Pete idea, this them stepping outside of the box, to me, makes it a high tier. Just for them stepping outside of the box and making it a little darker, and to like revamp some of these characters into something slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I agree, but so you're low high tier, and I'm high mid tier, so we're kind of like right there.
Yeah,
I'm just a step below. You're being a lot nicer than I am to the movie, which is not. I'm usually pretty nice to movies, but I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to be a realist on this.
I have nostalgia with it. Like, I have serious nostalgia with mine.
I do too. Let me explain why I say high mid tier here. Okay, so I say high mid tier. So legend tier, it's not close. There's no chance on that. High tier at the top of it, I don't think it's close to that either. The reason I'll put it in the mid tier, if this was a high tier movie off the bat, it wouldn't have been a Disney Plus exclusive. So like, there's clearly a reason why it was a Disney Plus exclusive and not going into theaters, because they knew it was going to be really good. They knew that people will like it, but they knew it wouldn't be one, like, you're not going to go back to the movies to see it, right? So would you consider a movie that you're not going to go back to see? Like, you might watch it on Disney Plus multiple times, but if it was $15 to go see, would you have seen it multiple times? You probably wait for it to drop on Disney Plus.
Yeah, 100% would wait for it to drop on Disney.
Yeah, you wouldn't go see it multiple times. But like
Lion King.
Lion King, you would go
I'd
see
watch it every
multiple
week.
times. But that's legend tier.
Yeah.
Like there's movies that you'd go see multiple
Like
times.
Finding
I think
Nemo or
I think a
Shrek.
yes, I think
Robin.
a high slash legend tier movie is one you're going to see multiple times. I don't think you would see this multiple times. Not that it wasn't good, but it wasn't like I need to see this again. Like I have to see this again. The story wasn't so deep that I had to see it again. It wasn't something I had to go and like there are a lot of Easter eggs, but like they're not like I have to go spend another $15 to see these Easter eggs. Like they're not that important to see. I can see it later when it comes on Disney Plus, or I can see it later when somebody does a recap of it or something like that. So that's why I think like high mid tier, like not high tier, it's not top of the crop, but it's really good. I mean, I gave it a 9 out of 10. So like I think a high tier movie would be a 10 out of 10. Right? That would make sense.
That makes sense.
So that's kind of my explaining of why I think it's a high mid tier, but I would put it in the mid tier of Disney movies. Better than almost any of the Disney original movies, but not as good as the Vault movies that they were doing in the 90s and re-releasing every 10 years. So that's about what we do. So right before we finish up that, Kyle, you got anything else with Chip and Dale that you want to talk about, or
Nothing else with Chip and Dale. I do have one question.
yes.
All right. Just the first movie you can think off the top of your head. It could be any animated movie. What is an animated movie that you like, but not a lot of people has either heard of, or B, a lot of people like? It could be one or the other.
An animated movie that not a lot of people have heard of or like.
But you love.
But I love. That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure you have one off the top of your head. That's why you asked the question. Why don't you go first so I can think about it for a second, because this was thrown at me and I don't know.
Sorry. I was just thinking about that when we was talking.
Yeah, go ahead. You go first. You talk about it. I'm going to think about it.
I'm going to say Anastasia. Remember that? Anastasia? I love Anastasia just because even though I knew it wasn't a Disney princess, that was the only movie that gave me that legendary Disney quality. That wasn't Disney. I think there's HBO? I think they were HBO or somebody
Anastasia?
else.
No, I think Anastasia is Disney.
Are you sure?
I could tell you in 2 seconds. No, maybe not. Let's see.
Somebody else.
It's 20th Century Fox. So that's why I thought it was Disney, because 20th Century Fox is now
Fox.
Okay. It's now Disney, but no, it was Fox.
It's Fox. Okay. So, but yeah, like I love that movie. For the longest, I thought the reason why I know it's not in Disney because I thought it was Disney for the longest. Like
I just said I thought it was Disney 5 seconds ago, so I get that.
Like I love like the whole story, and that was back when they wasn't doing like things on Russia, and you just seeing just different parts of the world outside of just like the regular like Arabia or like Britain or whatever. Like you can see like Russia, and you're like seeing like all the Bolsheviks and all of that stuff, and it's kind of cool. The czars and all of that kind of.
I still don't know. There's a question I would have to think about for longer than for 10 minutes. Well, the one I can think off the top of my head that I love, but like it's mixed. Like a lot of people love it, but there's a lot of people that also don't like it, is The Emperor's New Groove. It's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
Okay.
But a lot of people do love it. But there's a lot of people that just hate that movie.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, me too. But I love that movie. I think it's so good. That's the one I can think off the top of my head. I'm sure there's other ones that I like a lot of cartoon shows, movies. I don't know if there's as much. I've seen, but it didn't get too bad of reception. It's not the best movie in the world, but the Teen Titans Go movie has some really good parts to it. I don't know if I'd consider that one of my favorite movies though, but it had some really good parts to it. There's a part to the Teen Titans Go movie where it's like the movie's like Robin wants a movie. Like he wants an arch enemy because he wants he wants to have his own movie because Batman has his own movie and like this guy has his own movie, that guy has his own movie. So they're sitting in the theaters waiting for like I think it was the Batman movie, and it just shows you I've seen this movie, but I really wasn't paying strong attention to it, so I definitely don't consider it a favorite movie. They're sitting in there, and Robin's talking about how he wants his own movie, and this ad plays like this summer he's been by Batman's side, fighting his whole life. Now we get to see the story of Alfred. It just says Alfred across the screen. It's so good. It's so good. Like
I bet Robin had a fit.
it was so funny. So I'll just go with Emperor's New Groove for this because I'm not gonna be able to think of any other ones really. But it's really loved, so I guess it doesn't really count. But that's a good question. Maybe we'll come back to it at a different date and really think about it. But that's a good question to have. So let's wrap up let's wrap up the sketch up. I'm so lost on the words. We have too many rhyming words.
Sketch up, yeah, baby.
There we go. Wrap up the sketch up. So, what are you excited about what's coming up next? You were telling me there's a show you really want to talk about.
Yeah, it's a show I started watching. Actually, one of my kids put me on. It's an anime show. It's called Spy Family. It's about how like there's the dad is a spy, the mom is an assassin, and the daughter is a telepath. It's quite fun because like the dad is on a mission to basically infiltrate this like organization to get this guy, and so he has to like get into the bad guys' kids at school. So he adopts a girl, but he doesn't know that she got psychic powers, but she can read his mind, and she knows that he's a spy, and the mom is, and then he meets the mom who's an assassin in a boutique trying to buy the girl a dress. It's quite funny, and you get to see like it's good mix of like slice of life and also just like the run-of-the-mill action kind of anime. And it's real cute because you kind of see like people who aren't supposed to be like emotional and good family structure, like a good family structure. It's actually pretty cool watching an assassin and a spy like make a fake family and raise a telepathic kid. It's pretty.
And where can people find that?
Crunchyroll. Like you can find it on Crunchyroll, Verve. I think Hulu. I want to say Hulu. Just anywhere you can find some good anime.
What did you say the name of it was?
Spy Family.
Spy Family on Crunchyroll, Hulu. Just look it up and you'll find it. I can't think off the top of my head anything I'm too excited about. I've had so much going on. I haven't really watched anything, or I've been really behind. The last comic series I read was Devil's Reign, which was like a month and a half ago. So I haven't really been up on that. I know the Hulk and Thor, the Banner Wars are starting, which I got to get into. Like I got to catch up on. I mean, but there was something I wanted to talk about that was crazy. I don't know much details. I'll try to read the details as we're going. But it was announced earlier this year, and it launches in June, that there's going to be a comic series of Marvel and Fortnite. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is not because it's another Fortnite thing, not because I want to promote Fortnite or anything like that. We have done a lot of promoting a Fortnite. I mean, 2 years ago, I think it was, we had an episode talking about Travis Scott, how he did the concert. I actually went on Fortnite for that concert. It was actually kind of cool how they did it. They also had, this one was definitely more like Travis Scott's was just recordings put together and then an animation around it. The other one was what DJ was it? I think it was Marshmello was in it.
Oh,
and like that seemed, yeah,
white joint.
That one seemed like he was actually there, which was kind of cool. But this one I wanted to bring up because it made, I played Fortnite when it first came out. Was it 2016 maybe? Mm-hmm. I played it when it first came out, and it's crazy to see what it's become as a game. And now they're getting like their own comic series with Marvel, which is nuts to think about. I can't imagine what it's going to be. It's probably going to be terrible because like these combination ones like this are usually not too good. They're usually just money grabs for people that are really into Fortnite and stuff like that. But just to see, like, they partner with Marvel, they partnered with DC, they've partnered with MLB, NFL, NBA. I mean, you name the brand, and Fortnite is, and this is just all they did is they took the concept of the shooter game and made it a survival game. That's literally all they did. I don't remember what do they call it? What do they call that game mode? No. The game mode.
I know they got that build thing.
Oh, the new, yeah. Well, they took away builds now and stuff like that. Like, I can't imagine now. It's just a shooting game. There's no building, but like
no build zones or something.
Yeah. So just to think, like, it was this 100-man survival game.
It's free.
That was free, that has made billions of dollars, and it was so successful that other games like Call of Duty and Halo changed their entire gameplay to this type of gameplay. The drop-in survival games. It's just crazy to see what it's done. So I wanted to bring up, it's just nuts that Marvel is partnering with them again. Again, they partnered in 2020 where you could be Spider-Man or Black Panther and stuff like that in the game. But I just wanted to bring it up again because it's just, they're getting their own comic series coming in June. So in a couple days here, about Fortnite and Marvel. And you're going to see Spider-Man with, I don't even know what the characters' names are in Fortnite. I don't even know if they have names, but there's the two guys and two girls, or however many it is. And they're going to be partnering with Wolverine and Spider-Man to do something. Who knows what it is? You can read it if you want. I can imagine it's not going to be great. So that's just, but I think that's about it for this. Those are our recommendations. Those are what are we looking for next. I think that's where we're going to wrap up the show. So thank you for watching. Make sure you follow us on Schnabel Studios pages, and go see some old episodes. We have almost 50 of them. We're coming up on 50. We're 2 away from 50. There's some great old stuff there. There's Cartoon Bracket from 2 years ago. There's two big gaps of time where we have an episode, then we had a gap of time, then we had an episode, and the big gap of time, but we're going to be more consistent now. So that's the goal. Thank you for joining. For Kyle Scott, I'm Chris Schnabel, and we'll see you next time on Sketching Up. Later.
Thanks for watching Sketching Up. And for more on Sketching Up, go follow Schnabel Productions on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Schnabel Productions. Capitalize the S and the P, except on Instagram where it's Schnabel.productions. You know what I'm saying? Music. You know what I'm saying? The wonderful tunes that you hear right now, that's produced by me, the God, ATL's finest. You know what I'm saying? And the episode was produced by myself and my boy, Chris Schnabel. He even directed this thing. He killing it out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? That's NY's finest, you feel me? New York State, you feel me? You feel me? Might have to go get me a chopped cheese or something. You feel me? You can catch more Sketching Up and other great shows such as Mad Props and Offstage at Schnabel Studios YouTube page. And you can catch the newest episode of Mad Props with Julius Thomas III, who plays Hamilton, who plays Alexander Hamilton in Hamilton, on YouTube now or anywhere else you can get your podcast. And Sketching Up is also a Schnabel Studios production.